Project Empower. Project Empower is a project suggested by Mr. Midoriya and given a Level 2 priority. The project is focused on enhancing weaker individuals who wish to become heroes. This project spans multiple different divisions and is given authorization to use all available resources for this project, so long as it does not impact any higher priority projects. Today we'll be going over projects from multiple divisions under the umbrella of Project Empower. Project Mood Ring. Project Mood Ring was suggested by Dr. Gatto under Dr. Fataba's division. The thesis of this project is that emotions can be used to increase the power of quirks. As such, they wish to develop devices that can be used to convert emotion into power. These devices would be in the shape of multicolored rings. Each is capable of manifesting a specific emotion and turning it into power. We have 4 currently under development. A red ring, which is powered by rage. A green ring powered by willpower. A pink ring powered by love. And a blue ring powered by hope. While this project is certainly possible, it is currently facing a few major problems. First is that they have a hard time getting the emotions to properly manifest as power in the rings. And second is that whenever they do, the rings immediately explode. This project will likely take years to complete. Project Girl Power. Project Girl Power was proposed by Dr. K under Dr. Hatta's division. The idea behind this is that we already have multiple sources of additional chaos energy locked away inside our bodies. That energy comes from our reproductive parts, specifically eggs in the female case and fluids in the male's case. If we could somehow let a person develop and utilize that power for themselves, we could increase their power by several magnitudes. Currently, we have developed a method for females, but for males utilization of this seems to be impossible. By injecting the eggs inside the womb with a newly developed fluid known only as magical juice, the eggs will become fertilized. But instead of becoming babies, they will become what are called magical eggs. These eggs will provide a significant amount of power to the user's quirk, as well as increasing the power of their body's overall abilities. While this project has been refined and tested, the most notable and unchangeable drawback to this process is that it removes the ability for that woman to have children. An additional, and much less notable side effect, is that whenever the user utilizes their power, their womb will glow. This project is unusable on men, as well as women who are already incapable of having children. The project is ready for use and already has one successful case of being used on a person. However, due to the drawback of the procedure, the limited pool of people it's available to, and the overall discomforting nature of it, it's unlikely many people will be. Project Tree Night. Project Dark Night started after the Botany Division made a new discovery. They discovered a new plant that can heavily increase the abilities of certain individuals. The process goes as such. First, we take what is known as the night nut and give it to the user, who swallows it. Once it reaches the stomach, it dissolves and then its seeds pour into the rest of the body, where the conversion process begins. Some of the seeds are absorbed into various parts of the body and converted into a half-plant-like being. Once that happens, new glands and organs are grown inside the being. While the conversion process is happening, the subject will go into a hibernation-like slumber, and all their nerves will be sealed off, making them unable to feel pain. During this time, you'll need to make sure the subject is constantly exposed to sunlight. After about a week, the subject will awaken, changed by the nut. Their skin will turn green, and their entire body will now be composed of half-plant cells. The abilities they gain from this transformation are thus: while doing normal activities, they will experience no change. However, when doing strenuous activities, they will see a 30% boost in strength and speed, and they will receive an overall boost in stamina, about 60%. Their regeneration ability will increase significantly. Small wounds will close in seconds. Larger ones will heal in minutes. They will even be able to regenerate limbs and other things they normally wouldn't be able to. Although they will still die if they're decapitated, or if too much of the body is destroyed. The last ability they have is the ability to manipulate special organs in their muscles that can grow a bark-like material. This material can move to the outside and cover the skin, and the user can shape it however they please, making it into armor and weapons. As you can tell, this is an extremely potent power-up ability. However, there are drawbacks. First of all, to even undergo this process successfully, you have to be genetically compatible with it. For those incompatible, the process will likely kill or cripple them. Thankfully, we can test if they're compatible or not, so we don't have to risk trying it on any non-concurrent subjects or shut down the project entirely. Also, even if you are genetically compatible, there are still things that can disqualify you from the process. To survive the conversion, the subject must be at peak health. So if the subject suffers from any medical conditions, they are ineligible. Once the users are converted, they will suffer two main drawbacks. First is that they will be required to eat double the amount of food a normal person would have to consume. If they do any strenuous activities, this can go up quadruple the amount. On top of this, the user will have to take in a lot of sunlight, or else they will weaken significantly and could even die. While this project is ready to go, its limits regarding genetic compatibility will likely lead to this project's stagnation. Project mechanization. Project mechanization was suggested by Mr. Midoriya himself, and is under the supervision of Dr. Hikari and Dr. Hata's divisions respectively. This project revolves around the idea of using robotic parts to augment people's abilities, turning them into cyborgs. Simply giving them robotic parts is no issue. The real issue is connecting it to their chaos energy and enhancing it. The use of fractals is ineffective. While androids are immune to the side effects of fractals, cyborgs are not. Chaos emeralds are effective and given the right modifications, cyborgs can actually use chaos emeralds more effectively than most non-cyborgs. However, the Chaos Emeralds are one of the few resources we're not allowed to use for Project Empower. We have two current methods we can use to make this project work. The first is optimization, altering the body to make it perfectly optimized to use their quirk. Although the boost in power this offers is normally minimal, it can offer great amounts of control and minimize drawbacks. The second is enhancement. While fractals are not usable long-term, and Chaos Emeralds are too valuable, due to the cybernetic nature of the project, certain things that were off the table are now options. There were prototype emeralds that were deemed to be failures. Soul emeralds. Soul emeralds are far easier to make than Chaos emeralds, much like fractals, but unlike fractals, they are capable of holding pure chaos energy. They're not nearly as powerful as a Chaos Emerald, but they still give a significant boost to one's ability. The reason it was deemed a failure, however, is because the materials that compose the Soul Emeralds are far worse at containing that power. For the most part, it's fine, but as soon as a person touches them, they would likely immediately begin to burn from the inside out. Cybernetic beings, on the other hand, can be augmented to be able to use this power without dying. After much testing, we've finally come up with a design that will use the Soul Emeralds to enhance their quirks as well as their physical capabilities. This project is currently ready for human testing and is seemingly perfect. If not for one issue. It was extremely expensive. The cybernetic parts by themselves cost millions, and the Soul Emeralds are even more expensive. It would be best to keep this project limited. For the sake of our budget, Project Cyberization. Project Cyberization was suggested by Dr. Kin and is currently on hold. The idea behind this is to abandon the body entirely, removing the soul from the body and placing it inside a robot. This process would ideally be done by crystallizing the soul, so it can be removed and placed into robotic bodies. Using the same process we used with fractals to create androids. This project has been put on hold, as the idea of messing with souls has certain researchers hesitant. Although Dr. Kin has been allowed to continue his research, due to Mr. Midoriya showing interest in the project. This project is to be kept under the highest level of secrecy, as I don't think I need to explain why the public might not like the idea of the Midoriya Foundation ripping out people's souls.